Welcome back to my channel, Cooking with Gratitude. I'm Ladios Muhammad. I am an actress and a model. I'm also a mobile notary signing agent. So if you need a notary, I'm in Denver, Colorado. I do travel. And by trade, I am a professional admin. I wanted to say thank you all for coming back to my channel and sliding through. Basically, this channel is I cook, but as I'm cooking, I'm telling stories. Now, today, oh, hold on, I'm going to get our stuff. Today, our story, I'm not even going to do a story. I'm going to do an analysis on Magazine Dreams with Jonathan Majors. So, I'm going to pull out what we have here. Hold on a second. I should have had this done already, but I'll get it now. So I'm going to put out all my stuff. I've already gotten my vegetables together. They've been, I had them soak in distilled water and vinegar, and then I chopped them up. So it's broccoli with bell peppers and red onions. And I'm going to tell you why. Hold on. It's really exciting. And then I got some organic ground turkey. Now, you're probably wondering, what am I going to cook? And I'm going to tell you. So I just watched for the second time. I watched it last night, but I watched it again for the second time. Magazine Dreams, and oh my God. I absolutely love Jonathan Majors. Now listen. Magazine Dreams, I think it was released, I don't know the exact date, maybe the 21st of March, the 27th, something like that. But I didn't watch any TV or movies during Ramadan. So Ramadan ended on the 29th. I went literally 10 days after the release date to the theaters, and it was gone. It was gone. So I was super irritated. I was like, why do you guys have it listed on the billboard if it's not playing? They were like, well, it was like barely 10 days. I mean, I'm serious. I think it was on the 21st. It was released in March, and it was like a few days into April, and it was gone from the theater. So I was really disappointed. So I could not wait for it to come on streaming. Well, I checked it last night, and I seen it was streaming, and I was elated. Now, I fell in love with Jonathan Majors when he did he did The Harder They Fall and Lovecraft Country. And I was like, not in a romantic way. It was more like, oh my God, this guy is an amazing actor. And let me tell you, Magazine Dreams, I just pray for him that this is his comeback. And I'm so happy for him and Megan. I don't know them, but this movie is amazing. It was directed and written by, what's his name? Elijah Bynum. So anyway, in the movie, he was a bodybuilder, and bodybuilders eat a lot of protein. So at one point he was eating hamburgers. So I'm going to make my turkey burgers because I don't really like red beef for burgers. It's very rare. So I'm going to make organic turkey burgers. And then on a lot of the meals in the movies, he had a lot of broccoli. Now, he didn't have it with all this, but I'm making it with broccoli. I like my stuff to look, pretty. But so tonight's menu is going to be turkey burgers and broccoli. Now, I'm going to start telling this story, my analysis of this movie as I'm cooking. I'm going to put the turkey, and I'm going to do something special like I always do, is I always use taco sauce and organic guacamole sauce or dip mix for my burgers, and they taste so good. So I'm going to put this in my turkey, ground turkey, and I don't do the ground turkey breast. I do just the regular ground turkey because it tastes so much better. And for some reason, ground turkey breasts are very difficult to season. It's hard for the breast to capture the season. So anyhow, let's get started, and I'm going to talk about this movie. And I'm giving my analysis. Okay, first of all, again, Jonathan Majors was incredible. This guy played that role, and I just give him, I'm going to push this back so you can get a full picture of me. Oh, I got just update. So the last time I did my video, my stove went out, but it wasn't that it went out. What happened was it was there, the light socket or the electrical outlet was improperly installed, and it could have caused a fire. So the wires were burning, which was overpowering because the box, they didn't have it compatible with the 40 amp wire. And so I'm going to show a picture and let you see that. Right? Yeah. So I was grateful that the electrician caught it because it was also affecting my other wall appliances like my dryer and everything. So anyway, we got that together and that was the deal. So thank you all for, hanging out. So anyway, back to the movie. The movie was written and directed by Elijah Bynum. And he's done some other stuff. I think something that came out either last year or this year. It was a horror movie. I don't really care for horror, so I didn't watch it. But this was amazing. So I think his genre is like horror and thriller. I love thrillers. I just don't like horrors. Anyhow, Jonathan Majors plays Killian Maddox, and Taylor Page, who's also was in there. That's just a star name that I recognize. She was from Hit the Floor. She's in there. Harrison Page, which is, I don't know if there's any relation. That's interesting. Anyway, he plays William Lattimore, which is Killian Maddox, Paw or grandfather. And then another main character we need to be aware of is Brad Vanderhorn. He is the bodybuilder that Killian Maddox is like not in love with, but that is his hero. Like he wants to be like him as a bodybuilder. So this will, this brought back a lot of memories when I was growing up. I'm probably dating myself. Okay. So yeah, I remember the bodybuilders. Like there was of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, he was already in by the time I got into bodybuilding in the 80s. Then there was Sergio Olivia, Frank Zane, Chris Dickerson, Dorian Yates. He was huge. Ronnie Coleman. Oh, he was huge. And I also remember Sean Ray. I just thought he was so cute, Sean Ray. Anyhow, and then the women bodybuilders was like Corey Everson, who I thought she was just absolutely stunning and gorgeous. And then Linda Murray. Linda Murray was a black bodybuilder, and they were both all those. Most of except for Sean Ray, I think all of them were all. Oh, I forgot about Lee Haney, but I think almost all of them. And I could be wrong, but some of them. I'll say some of them, but definitely. Corey Everson and Linda Murray were Mrs. Olympia, and some of the names that I mentioned were Mr. Olympia. But I just remember I used to be into the Flex magazine, Muscle and Fitness, Muscle Mag. All those things were like, I wanted to be a professional bodybuilder, but my body, I had an ectodorf, I think that's ectodorf body. So I just couldn't gain that kind of weight. I mean, like genetically, I could never gain that kind of weight. So what happened along the way, they developed like fitness contests, Miss Fitness contests, and so forth and so on. Excuse me. Hold on, I'm dropping stuff. And at those point in time, that was for people who just got really fit and toned. And anyway, so moving right along, let's move right along. When this movie opens up, he's doing poses. So this is where you're getting introduced that he is shooting to go, competing to go pro, to become a pro bodybuilder, and he wants to be on a magazine. So you see him posing, and then he's introduced, you introduce the characters, his grandpa that he's taking care of, and you're introduced because after the poses, they open it up with this therapist. Now, initially, right away, I don't like the therapist. Okay. All she does is talk about his violent behavior. And I get that's important, but she's not going deeper. And I'm going to tell you why as we progress on into the story. Okay. And he's not being responsive pretty much, or he's just kind of being disconnected. So she finally asks him, what do you want to talk about? And he says something really important. He says, they make me drive 6 miles all the way to the grocery store. He said, 6 miles, go get groceries. And she says, who is they? He goes, I go to the grocery store. They don't have them in my neighborhood. He said, all they have is junk food. Now that's an important message. These are like the things I'm going to be pointing out are underlining things in our messages that like messages that are real life. Like I live in an urban neighborhood and it's been gentrified. And basically I'm just saying within the last 7 years, we got a natural grocers. And the only reason they did it is because they feel society, people who have that control over, where they're going to put those health food stores, that Black people and Hispanic people don't shop healthy because it's specifically Hispanic people, because they stereotype, say they have large families and they would rather shop at Walmart. Okay. Absolutely not true. And that they think Black people can't afford it. Okay. So eventually we got a natural grocer, like again, about 6 or 7 years ago. But let me tell you, every time we're in natural grocery, every time I go, there's Black people that work there and Hispanic people. And every time I've been in there, I see Black and Hispanic people working there. And it just frustrates me. But I thought that was a very important part of the movie. So we start off with that. And then as we progress in there, we learn that he's on steroids. He wants so bad to gain mass. Now, let me tell you, Jonathan Majors, however he trained for this part, he fit this part perfectly, because he was ripped and cut up and he did the poses and everything. And then his legs were really small. And I'm mentioning that because you're going to find out why, but he was so perfect for this role. So then as he's working out, I've seen people in the role, in the gym, they grunt, but there's something about his grunt and his, it's like aggression. It's like all this anger, all this pain, all this hurt coming out. And so then, now we're introduced to Brad Vanderhorn. Now, Jonathan has posters of all these bodybuilders and people that are inspiring him to become a professional bodybuilder. So he is on the cover of a magazine. Okay. And at one point he's constantly eating a lot through this. What are you guys doing? That's my bunnies. They're doing some weird stuff. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something weird. But anyhow, he's constantly eating, making sure my mic is on. Yeah. Eating throughout the whole movie. Let me see what these bunnies are doing. This is so weird. They're just, oh, okay. They're playing with their toys. Never mind. Okay. So there's a scene where he's in the living room eating. And once again, and these are little subconscious things that you got to pick up on. You see a news, and I do not think, Elijah, I believe he purposely put it there because these all play into this character, Killian. Is that right? Is Killian? His name is Killian. Yeah, Killian Maddox. But you see already they show a Black man on the news, a white woman giving a report, and he's an assailant. So you already know this man is not getting a perfect image of what a Black man looks like. He is so determined to make himself matter, make himself loved, make himself be accepted. So he's fighting a lot of demons. Okay, so we're introduced to him. We're introduced that he likes this guy because he's writing a letter. And he's like, I'm your #1 fan, and so forth and so forth. And then you go on moving forward, and you find out he is competing. So he's competing. He has this competition to get his first pro card, and he places 6. And he is like really intense with his poses, and and it's, he really wants this. So I'm going to get this started. I'm going to turn on the oven. Remember we talked about getting the pans ready to be warmed up so we can insert the food. So I'm going to warm up the pans. I'll do this one. This one I'll do the vegetables last because I don't like my vegetables cold. So I'm getting this warmed up. So he's really interested, but he places 6. So moving along, again, he's at this grocery store that he works at. and he goes and he's at the deli. And while he's I washed my hands, so I'll be making my patties, but I did wash my hands. Okay, so he's at this deli and he's looking to order a whole bunch of chicken breast. And there's a lady, a white lady, of course, and he wasn't even that close to her. He was probably like 5 feet away. I don't know, 4 feet, 5 feet. And she has her purse on this side and then she puts it on this side. So again, now we got, what broke my heart is he goes, "I'm sorry." And try not to get emotional, but that broke my heart because it's like, you're sorry for what? For being black? For making you feel uncomfortable? For making you feel threatened? I have not done anything to you. Elijah did such a good job in this movie. And so that he apologized, and he didn't have to apologize for anything. So anyhow, he gets his food. He goes up to the counter, the register, and of course, it's a white girl that he is very smitten on. Yep. He's very smitten on her. And, you know, they exchange some dialogue, and then he gets he pays for the groceries and he leaves, and then he comes back and then he asks her out on a date. And she's kind of stunned, and I'm not quite sure if she's truly interested, but he says, "Never mind, you don't have to accept my date. You probably got a boyfriend in it," and he walks out, you know, quickly. So, that's getting nice and hot. I love it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just a little bit longer. So next, the next scene, we see him recording a video. Now, I wasn't quite grasping. I think he was trying to do a video that he could post on social media to kind of introduce him, saying he's going to be the next pro bodybuilder. And during this whole video, he films for like 3.5 hours, and he just keeps messing up, and he keeps messing up, and he keeps messing up, and he keeps messing up. And then all of a sudden he collapsed during the video, but he still gets up and he's like he's holding his side. And I'm like, ooh, something's going on with his liver. I'm thinking he's eating too much protein, and then of course we already know that he does steroids. So I'm like, ooh. So he collapsed, but he keeps trying to do this video, and he had been shooting it for 3.5 hours. So apparently he decided, I don't know, they never show the video, but he actually put the video up, and now you see all these critiques, and they're like saying this is a fool, this is, you know, he's a goofball, why don't he kill himself? And again, this man wants to be loved. This man wants to feel like he matters. And so then as we progress, because he wants gains, because he wants to be the best, because he has these intensive goals, he's shooting up steroids. He's probably working out 2 to 3 times a day. And then you see he's doing some drugs. He does what it looks like appears to be cocaine. And, you know, he's aggressively working out with spit and stuff coming out and sweat and trying to obtain this goal. And, you know, I'm like, wow, like I'm just, oh, this is getting hot. Okay, so check it out. Let me get this olive oil in here. I'm gonna put a little olive oil in here because it's hot now. Oh, you know what? Let me stop that because I didn't make the patties yet. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna make the patties while we're talking. Then I'm gonna put that back on. Whoops, okay. So I'm making a beautiful turkey burger. Look at this. I love this. I love doing this. I love taco and guacamole mix in my burgers. They're just so good. Again, this is the theme from Magazine Dreams. Okay. Perfect burger. Perfect. Okay. So we're doing massive burgers here. All right. So, you know, the next scene after he's been working out aggressively, you see him on the phone making a call. Now, this is very important. He's making a call to a hardware store. And I'm like, why is he making a call to the hardware store? All right. So apparently this particular company did something. Okay, I made my patties. I'm going to put this back on, and then I got to wash my hands. I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to come right back. Hold on one sec. I'm back. Okay, I just washed my hands. So now we're going to put this back on. It's getting hot. We're going to put a little olive oil in there, and then I'll get back to my analysis with this movie, which I love. I hope this is a great, comeback for him, and he can restore his image and everything back in film, which I think he will do it. So I turned the heat down. I'm going to put my first burger here, and then I'm going to put my second one here. I'm so hungry. I normally try to eat between 2 and 4, but I wanted to watch this film one more time because it was so great. Now I bought a new tripod, and it's supposed to move, but I have to, because the other one I had, I broke it, and I ordered it, and so it came yesterday, but I haven't had time to program the app and connect it to my phone because it's supposed to move when I move. All right. So I'm back. Anyhow, so he's on the phone with this hardware store, and he's talking about how, his grandfather, he calls him his pawpaw, has been calling a lot for them to come back out to put a second coat on their house because the paint was too thin. Okay. I always put a little bit of water in there because I don't like it to stick. You got to be mindful. Okay. You don't want to start a fire. So he's having this conversation, and they were like, he was like, have you not been getting my pawpaw's calls? And he was like, yeah, we got the calls. And basically, and what? So they were, he exchanged some things. They exchanged some things. And finally he said, you know what? So what I loved about this is that he tried to refrain from going, from wilding out, really. So he says, I just need you to respect that my pawpaw, he's old, he's sick, he's a veteran, and I just want you to come back and do it, the job correctly. And they were like, okay, dude, we'll do it. You go buy the paint. Okay, so he just lost it. He lost it. So he goes to their store. He trashes the store. But get this. This is okay. Like I said, Elijah is brilliant. I just want to make sure I'm saying it like Elijah Bynum is brilliant because there's things so he's trashing the store. He kicks in the window. Now they're not there. So nobody's there because the store is closed, and he's destroying the store, and he's spiraling, he's crashing. It's a great scene. I love this because when he walks out, now he's messed up, face, hands, everything. When he walks out, there's a guy with a dog up the street and looking at him, and he says, they did this. Okay, now symbolically, he's talking, they did this. Yeah, he trashed the store, and I'm not condoning violence. I'm condoning the trauma that we as Black people have been through, especially our Black men and women, that just to try to just be in existent society is already a struggle. And so when he said they did this, I knew exactly what he meant. And I thought that was a brilliant line, brilliant. So he gets in his car, he's kind of beat up because he literally crashing his head. He was crashing, smashing his head into the glass. And it was just very atrocious. So he ends up getting in a car wreck because, he's already jacked up. He's already self-abused himself. And he's in the hospital and he's waking up. And as let me turn this back up so it can cook a little faster. So he's waking up. The doctors had examined him, and here's where we learned that his body is starting to shut down from all the drugs and the steroids. They find that he has elevated liver enzymes, and so now he has tumors on his liver. Although they're not cancerous, they want to go ahead and schedule him for surgery immediately. And he says, no, y'all. Again, another powerful line, because you guys got to get the signals, the signs, and everything of what he's trying to tell, this story about Black people in general, in the life of a Black man. Sorry. He says, I'm sorry, let me say his name. Killian. I want to say Gillian, but his name is Killian with the K. Killian says, y'all not coming at me with a knife. You're not coming at me with a knife. His excuse was, I'm a professional bodybuilder and I can't have no scars. No. The hidden message is y'all like to experiment on us, cut on us, take body parts off and use them for other things. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know, but that's what I'm seeing. So anyway, he doesn't get any surgery. He starts to write another letter to Brad and says, I've written you several letters and I feel like I'm being ignored. And, he's telling him he met this girl named Jessie. Now, Jessie never went out on a date with him yet. Not yet. And then he says, well, we're doing good. And maybe, I guess he mentions a female's name and I'm supposed to be, I think it's Brad's wife. Maybe we can all go out on a double date. So he's kind of delusional in a sense. But I don't know if he's really delusional as much as that is something that he really desires and he's trying to create it. But he says, I need some advice. He says, no matter how hard I work out, no matter how much I eat, I can work out 2 or 3 times a day and I still can't get mass on my legs. He's like, I can't get my legs to grow. So he genuinely admires this guy. I mean, he literally genuinely admires this guy. And so the guy is not calling him back. He's not emailing, he's not sending anything, and he's like, I'm your biggest fan. So then you see a little scene where he's Googling how to make people like you. Now this, again, it's just so heartbreaking for me. Make sure my mic is still on, because we all want to be loved and liked. We all want to be loved and liked. But sometimes we look for that love and that self, I guess the word I want to say is validation, the self-validation from the wrong people. And his was to be a professional, successful, well-known bodybuilder on the magazine, because that's what he needed. He wanted to be liked. So the next scene, he's at a grocery store, and I didn't catch it the first time, or even the third time, because I watched it 2.5 times. I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but a woman's going in through the line with a pie, and I guess she turns her back. I don't know why. And it comes down, the register, and he spits in it. And I'm like, whoa. And it just reminded me of the pie and the help. I'm not condoning this, but it's the fact that what I thought the irony is that he has a grave sense for white people, but he asked a white woman out on a date. And I thought that was like, or maybe it's white older women, or maybe, I don't know, but he spit in her pie and then he gave it to her. She didn't even see it. So, time goes on, he's still working out. And then you see, make sure my burgers don't burn. Anyway, this is looking so good, you guys. This is looking so good. I am starving. I'm so hungry. Okay, I'm gonna get the buns out so they can be ready. I'm gonna put them in my toaster. I want them lightly toasted. Hold on. We're gonna keep telling this story. It's a really, really good story. Okay, 100% whole wheat buns. Okay, yeah, I am a health nut. I'm not saying I eat healthy all the time, because my guilty pleasure, don't want to move the camera, but my guilty pleasure are Lay's potato chips and hot sauce. So anyhow, that's the bun we're going to be using for our dinner. Anyhow, put that in there. So he's at home, of course, I think he's eating, he's talking to his grandfather, and it's actually a pretty good scene, because his grandfather is like telling him how much he admires him and his dedication to achieving his goal of becoming a bodybuilder. And he was like, a lot of people, they fall, like he was talking about how people fail and they give up, but you don't make excuses. So his grandfather was already proud of him, but that wasn't enough for him. And I don't think he was really, like, again, he was seeking validation from sources that were not going to give him what he needed. And so the phone rings, and guess who it is? It is the girl, his coworker from his job. She gets his number from his boss. I would not know why a boss would give out another worker's number unless, I don't know. Anyway, her name is Jessie. They ended up scheduling a date. Now, I just thought Jonathan Majors did such a good job in this role, because when they go to the date scene, I mean, he gets dressed, he puts on his little tie. Ooh, man, I'm just looking crazy. Okay, anyway, sorry. Ooh, okay. He puts on he gets dressed up, he puts on a little tie and suit. Did he have on a tie? Well, he had on a suit jacket for sure. And he goes in to this, I think it's like a kind of like a steakhouse. And she meets him there. Now, obviously, he's socially awkward. You don't see him with any friends through the whole movie. You don't see him hanging out with anybody through the whole movie. It's just him and his grandpa. And I'll call him Pawpaw, because that's what his name is in the movie. Well, that's how he talks about him. Okay, this is looking good. Oh my goodness. Okay. And so she's like, oh, you look so handsome. And she has a seat, and they do their introductions, and she says something I thought was interesting. Okay. She says, oh, you want to hear something funny? I hope you don't mind. She says, I told my dad that I was going on a date with you. And she's like, is that weird? And he was like, and I don't think killing is slow. I just think he's very socially awkward, and the trauma that he experienced kind of defines his character in present time. And he goes, oh, you did? You told your dad? And she's like, yeah, is that weird? And he goes, no. He goes, you're going to make me blush. Because he felt like, wow, you thought so much of me that you told your dad. Hidden message. No, I told my dad, because if you, black man, if I come up missing, he going to come looking for you. Come on now. At least that's my interpretation. All right. So let's keep it moving. So anyway, here is the turning point of you understanding why Killian acts the way he does. So he says, oh, well, you know what? I told my dad too. She goes, you did? Oh. And he says, no, I'm just joking. And then she goes, you're funny. And they start laughing. He goes, my dad's dead. And then she laughs so hard. She puts her head down, and she's like, you're funny. And she looks at him, and he's serious, like deadpan serious. And she goes, you're serious? And he goes, yeah, my dad's dead. And my mom's dead too. And then he's like, in fact, my dad, he killed my mom, and then he killed himself. So yeah, that's why they're dead. And so her whole disposition just changed. Like, she's like that's too much information to share for today. Like, and it kind of was. It kind of was. So he's like, yeah. So they come to order. The waitress comes to make order, and of course he's a bodybuilder, so he orders a plethora of food: steak, chicken, salmon. And she's still stuck on stupid with the fact that he just revealed this information so nonchalantly, and she's still processing. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't even know you eat that much food." But she's very disconnected to the fact that I don't think she understands like a bodybuilder eating. So he's like, oh, if you think I eat a lot of food, you should see what Brad Vanderhorn eats. And she goes, oh, is he your friend? And so there's like a little bit of him kind of being out of reality and wanting to be and manifesting reality. I don't think he's crazy. I think there's trauma. They alluded that he was hearing voices, maybe so, but I think he just has trauma, and he has not had the right people in his life. And you're going to see as I progress into this. Okay. Let me check on these burgers. I'm so hungry. I can't wait to eat. Okay. Oh my God. This looks so good. They're nice and brown. Okay. I'm going to get this one ready to start. No, I'm going to turn that off. I'm not going to turn that on just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my seasonings. I told y'all I like Mrs. Dash. Okay, we got to get a little spike. I love spicy food, so I'm going to do a little cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper. Oh, you know what? We're not going to do cayenne pepper. We're going to do extra spicy Mrs. Dash. Okay, and then what else do we want to do? What else, y'all? What else should we do? I think so. We got onions and herb. No, let's switch this out. We're going to switch that one out. We're not going to do onions and herb. We're going to do the table blend, spike, and some spicy Mrs. Dash. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to turn this down because I don't want this. It's nice and golden brown. So we're going to turn this down so it doesn't, it's on warm, so it could just like simmer. Okay, so I'm going to just mix these spices and everything in, and I'm going to start warming up the pan for the vegetables. Thank you for cooking with gratitude with me. I appreciate it. Thank you all who have been watching the videos. I am so grateful. This is just something that I was inspired to do. God's been good to me. I am so grateful. I'm still not employed, but at the end of the day, I still can eat. I still have a roof over my head. I have transportation, and I don't really have any complaints right now. So just the fact that you're hanging out with me, it speaks volumes, and I'm super grateful. Excuse me. There's a little peppery. So I just seasoned, nicely seasoned. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more table blend. Okay. So yeah. All right. Okay, so this is getting hot. I'm waiting for this pan to get hot, and then I'm gonna put the vegetables in there. Okay. I like to saute my vegetables. All right, where did I leave off? Okay. So this woman is stuck on stupid with what he just shared. Again, he's socially awkward. So she orders a shrimp salad of some sort, and he mentions about, you know, Brad and about how much he eats. She's like, "Are you guys friends?" And she was like, "Yeah, kind of, sort of." But then she finds out his fascination, that he's not somebody who's a friend, but somebody he really admires. And then he was like, "You don't know who he is? He's like the biggest bodybuilder, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "This man is crazy." Like, he's making a big deal, like, "I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be the best bodybuilder." So now she's like, he's gone. I can't. So she's like, "Excuse me." And she's like, "I need to go to the ladies' room." So 10 minutes later, I guess she might have told the waitresses to tell him about 10 minutes after that I'm gone. And they come and say, "Hey, your guest said she had an emergency." Well, I knew she was going to leave. I knew. Again, there you go. I'm abandoned. I'm not good enough. You can't accept me for who I am. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling, that of my observation of this movie, that he was feeling. So they were like, "Your guest left and she had an emergency." And he was like, "Oh yeah, how long ago?" He was like, "They're like 10 minutes ago." And he was like, "Oh yeah, she did tell me. I must have forgotten." And he's like, she goes, "You want me to pack this up? Because all that food came out." And he was like, "Yeah." And then he goes, no. And I need you to bring me more. Okay, now here's where the pit, you know, he's starting to spiral. Okay, now he's feeling rejected. Here's where he's starting to spiral, and he starts to become a glutinous pig. I hate that word, but he starts to eat a lot, like you can see. But this is where we learn about his parents and why he needs some validation. Can you imagine? I don't know if he's seen his parents. You kind of allude to it as a little glimpse of somewhere at the end, but I don't know if he's seen his dad. I have to catch that again. But so the next day is the competition, because remember, he's going to do he placed 6th in the first competition. So now he's going to go compete to get his, I forgot what it's called, but it's his pro card, his bodybuilder pro card. Woo! So he's in the car. He's all ready. He's got his water jug. He's got everything. He's about to go. He's about to do the dang on thing. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, let me get this. So he gets in his car and somebody knocks on his window. Guess who it is? Y'all want to know who it is? It's crazy. It's 3 guys. One of them is the father of the hardware store that he destroyed. And these 3 white men, and I specify white because it's very important, they tear his butt up. They hit him with a metal pole. Now, I did like the way they did that scene because Elijah did allow him to get a couple licks in. And I think if he had to take him on one by one, he'd have just knocked him out. But they jacked him up. They jacked him up. But this guy is relentless. Killian. He's all bruised up. They've done broke one of his arms. They done hit him with poles. And then the worst part is they kick him while he's down, spit on him, and the dude calls him an effing ape. Oh, Lord Jesus. He did that. Okay. Let me get this. It's hot. I'm keeping my burgers nice and warm. So let me see if I got something to cover that. I'm going to cover my burgers with this pan. That's going to keep them warm. And now I'm about to saute my vegetables. Okay. Oh, y'all hear that? Yes, mama. Okay. Woo! It's vegetables. Oh, let me turn it down. I don't want my vegetables to get burnt. I want them to be sauteed. Okay. Ah. Yes, let me turn them down so they can cook nice. Now I'm going to put a little bit of water for a little bit of steam because I don't want them to get nasty. Whew. All right. So this guy is relentless. Killian is jacked up, face bleeding. He's bleeding. He's bloody, guts. Not guts, but he's bloody. Face all jacked up. He's going to that competition. He's going to that competition. He's bleeding. He's walking in. All the competitors like, man, you need some help. He's like, no, they're going to call my name. And as soon as he gets there, he's kicking off his clothes. He's getting into his stuff. And he goes on that stage just jacked up and trying to do his poses. Relentless. That was a great scene. And he collapses. So he's determined to be a bodybuilder and he collapses. So he's reading online about, national bodybuilder collapses. And I'm really sad for him at this point. So he doesn't realize he's a freaking champion already because the tenacity that he has is amazing. But now he feels like he's failed. He's missed his opportunity and he starts spiraling and he starts crashing out. So he tears up his VHS tapes of all the bodybuilders and now his diet is off the chain. He rips off the photos off his wall. And then you see the scene with the therapist. I do not like this woman. Okay, y'all, I am not against therapy because I have done it. In fact, I've seen a therapist every week for 13 months, relentlessly. Because I did the work. I did a lot of shadow work. We did EMDR. We did the work. But it's important to get you a match. If you don't get the right therapist, you're going to be screwed. Anyway. So he's in the office with the therapist and he just kind of goes into, I don't want to say fantasy. I really think he believes that he's going to be on a cover of a magazine and he shares that, oh yeah, I just got a deal to be on the cover of a magazine. My competition went well. They're sending photographers over. And then she asks about the girl on the date. He's like, oh yeah, we're together and she's so sweet. Now, of course she knows he's lying. Everybody, you can see it. I think he just like, I don't want to talk to this woman. You don't even understand my plight. You don't even understand. I just got beat up by 3 white men because I was asking them to do their due diligence of doing the work right. So she says, that's good. I want you to find joy. You should be happy. But this is an important thing that she said, and everybody should take this in a stride. She says, it is important you find people you can make an emotional bond with. It is important that you find people that you can make an emotional bond with. That stuck out to me because, first of all, she was not someone who can understand his plight, so she ain't going to connect with him. He had his pawpaw, but there was the bond. There was a bond of him taking care of his pawpaw. But there was a disconnect because he had nobody. You know, he has all these issues of abandonment, not good enough, not love, nobody likes him, you know. So, you know, it fades in and he's driving around now. He's with driving around in a neighborhood where there's like prostitutes. And this is where I think what's her name? Taylor Page. This is where she comes in. And oh, Jonathan played this role so well. It was so cute and adorable. He's shy. I gather that he's never been with a woman. You do see him watching porn throughout the whole movie. Well, throughout the movie, not the whole movie, but throughout the movie on a few different scenes. You don't see the porn, you just hear it audibly. And so I think he's never really been with a woman. In fact, I think this would have been his first, you know, time of relations. I don't even think he had a girlfriend. Again, like I said, he's socially awkward. So I'm gonna try to wrap this up because everything's almost done. I'm gonna turn on my hose for my burger. And I'm gonna put these back because, you know, I like to cook and clean as I go. So anyhow, let's see, what else? Where did I leave out? So the girl, he goes and slowly gets dressed. He takes his time. He brings out his clothes. You know, he's really nervous. And he goes to kiss her. And she's like, smacks him in the face. And he's like, what did I do? Like, he's like shocked. She's like, no kissing. Dumb. You know, she said the N word. He don't know nobody. He says, I'm sorry. I was just trying to make it sexy. Again. So she was like, you know, that's fine, but no kissing. Of course, now the mood is all jacked up. So she goes, well, let me help you out. Because now he's probably lost the excitement of laying with this woman. And he says, no, I don't even want to anymore. You don't even like me. He goes, and I'm sick. I'm so sick. And I thought this was a very touching moment because she goes, it's okay. And I seen just a little bit of tenderness from this woman. And I thought it was so beautiful. So where I find a little loophole here is you see the next day he's at his job and he has face beaten up and his mouth is bleeding. Like literally there's blood on his teeth. And I don't know what happened with that woman to that day or what, like, I want to know why was there blood, but I guess he's not caring for himself. Who knows? Maybe the tumors are giving him a reaction. I don't know, but oh, that's my buns. My buns are toasted, but I suspect, maybe he really is sick. Well, here we already established that he's sick, but I think it's starting to, his body's shutting down. But anyhow, his boss ends up firing him that day because of him coming to work with his face beaten up, blood dripping out of his mouth, and I cannot blame the boss. He has to run a business, but this is again where he's kind of killing is between reality and what he's trying to manifest, what in his dreams. And he says, please give me another chance. I'm a good worker. He goes, I laid my name and likeness to your organization and bring publicity. Again, this is in his mind because he's trying to manifest who he wants to be. And that guy was like, nobody knows who you are. Nobody. Okay. That's another important hidden message. Those are like little microaggressions that we experience all the time in the workplace by our counterparts, white people, whatever you want to call them. And that triggered him. So he gets up and he says, you be careful, very careful how you speak to me. So again, it doesn't matter what he thinks. Yeah, he's wrong, but I'm still a human being. And so again, he believes he's going to be great. The thing is, he's already great. He just don't know it yet. Okay. So now here's my favorite scene in the whole movie. I'm going to stop and start again. Hold on. Okay, great. All right, I'm hoping to wrap this up, and I hope I don't run out of. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab a plate. We're gonna grab a plate so I can put this on one of my favorite plate bowls. This looks like my vegetables are all done, almost done. So this is my favorite scene in the whole movie. He's at the diner. He's pigging out. His discipline, because now, you know, that emotional eating. I'm not good enough. Nobody likes me. I'm heartbroken. That woman abandoned me. She left me at the restaurant. I missed my opportunity because they beat me, but I was just trying to get them to do the right thing. And this man, now I just got fired from my job. So he's eating all kinds of garbage right now. He's not on the diet. And that's like a really important, you know, turning point of how disciplined he was to be a champion. So guess who walks in the diner? The son of one of the three guys that beat him up. He comes in with his family and he sits. And so, of course, Killian sees him. And he was like, he thinks, he ponders, and he's like, yeah. Basically, he's like, I'm about to confront this joker. Elijah, you did so good. I love this scene. Oh my God. So I don't even know if I'm gonna put music. I'm gonna lay music onto this because I'm just so passionate about what happened. So anyway, he goes and walks up to the guy and he says, oh, you remember me? Now the guy is scared and shocked and surprised and everything you could think of. And I love it. Because I'm going to point out some beautiful things that Elijah did to show that we are not aggressive, violent beings, people. We're not. We've been made that way by the circumstances of our environment. We've been put on as, you know, we have biases and judgments and prejudices, but people don't really know who we are or really try to get to know who we are. So anyway, the guy was like, oh, he's like, yeah, you remember me? He's like, yeah, you're not so tough now that you're in with your friends. He's like, okay, dude, I get your point. He's like, I'm here with my family. He was like, my family? He's like, yeah, man, these are my family. He's like, well, you didn't think about my family. So anyway, the whole time, Killian tells his family, this is what your dad did. He beat me up. They beat me up with the pole, spit on me, and then he called me an ape. And he's telling this to his whole family. Now, his children is crying and his wife is holding on to his son because now his son is like threatening. He's like, yeah, now you're a coward because you ain't. So he's like, okay, man, we get your point. Can you just go? And he's like, what is this? He points to a soda. Whose is this? Whose is this? So I don't know. This is also also a part of understanding his character. So the little boy had a soda, and he tells the little boy, "Don't drink that soda, because if you drink it, nobody will like you if you're fat. You don't want to be fat." So he takes the soda. Now this is very important because now he doesn't spiral. Now Killian is spiraling. He's crashing out. So he goes back to his chair and drinks the soda. Now this is so symbolic because now he thinks now nobody likes him. He is definitely not good enough, especially since he missed his opportunity to be a champion. And so he starts throwing food at the guy and his family. He's like, dude, stop. You know, like, just leave. He's like, what? So he jumps all over the boobs and the tables. The man, I'm like, what? I love it. He punked his butt so bad, and never once did he lay a finger on this dude. Never. And then my favorite line is he's going around like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? You're fat. You're bald. You're fat. And he points at the guy. You're a coward, ugly, short. So he goes, fat, bald, fat, coward, ugly, short. So somebody says, call the police. Call the police. He's like, yeah, call the police. I'm an unarmed black man, 6'1", 200 something pounds. Anyway, you know what happened. So he goes out again. He's spiraling. He's crashing. It's a wrap. Ooh, let me not burn my vegetables. Okay, I'm gonna turn these vegetables off, but I'm wrapping this stuff up. Okay. So he's crashing. He's spiraling. He's done. He has reached his breaking point. So he smashes his head into someone's car. Smashes his head. He's angry. Police come and they do what they do. Kick him, beat him, spray him. He gets arrested. And then you see him in the office with the therapist. This therapist sucks. She talks about all the charges that he has accrued. And then the one thing she asks is, have you thought about how you're going to pay for all of this? Because he has like over $1,200 in damage from smashing his head into some female car. Not what's going on. Help me to help you. Please share with me. Something has triggered you. She's not interested in how he's feeling. She's saying, have you thought about how you're going to pay for this? So I love this. God, this guy did good. He says, he looks at her in a deadpan stare with a cute little smile that he always has. And he says, Patricia, that's the therapist's name. I want to thank you for your time, for trying so hard. At that point, he knew she was not a match and she couldn't help him. Not because he's crazy, not because he's sick, because she's making him more sick and she don't have no empathy, compassion, or nothing to help him. So he goes on to order a gun and he's at home and he gets a call. He's eating, he gets a call. He eats a lot through this show. He gets a call. I'm going to start making my burger because it looks good. Oh, we're going to put this back. I like mustard. Do I have some mustard? Yeah, I got mustard. And let's see. Oh, I thought I had some. No, maybe I didn't. I thought I had some A1 sauce. Okay. Nope. I swear I thought I had some A1 sauce. Okay. Well, I don't have A1 sauce, but I like mustard. I'll do some Worcestershire sauce. I don't know. I like mustard on my. Let me check in my cabinet. I thought I bought some A1 sauce. Oh, bummer. Okay. Well, mustard will work. So he gets a call. He's in the kitchen, and he gets a call and he's eating. And the call was like, you will never believe who called. You will never believe who called. It was Brad Vanderhorn. He is shocked. He is speechless. He is like, wow, my hero has just called me. So Brad invites him to his photo shoot because he's going to be in town. And he says, hold on, y'all. I swear I thought I bought some A1 sauce. Let me check one more time. I swear I thought I bought some. I'm so sad. That would have been the top off. Let me see. No. Okay. Well, poo. Anyway, I guess I really didn't, but I swear I thought I did. So anyhow, he goes to the photo shoot. This guy who's playing Brad Vanderhorn, I think he is a professional bodybuilder. I didn't really look him up, but he had the body of a professional bodybuilder, and he looks fantastic, I must say. And so he's just in awe. He's fascinated with his hero. Now, I already knew what was going to happen before it happened. I don't know why. Intuitively, I just knew. So Brad goes, hey. He goes, Killian, he's so glad. He goes, I'm so glad to see you. Hold on, let me clean this plate. I'm cleaning it. It's clean. There's crumbs in it. And I just want to put, like, when you see the presentation, it looks cleaner. It looks nice. Anyhow, he says, oh, you look, because, one letter he sent a copy of his photo of what he looks like and how he's been working out. I'm adding my red onions and my organic tomatoes. Oh, I love tomatoes and onions. Okay. And then my burger has been, I just did this. I'm going to put this away. I don't want to take my burger out yet because I just want to wait till I'm almost done with the show. With my commentary. Okay. So he comes up to him and he goes, man, you look great. You got great abs. He goes, yeah. He goes, you want to touch them up? So you see Killian touch his abs. I already knew what would happen. And then boom, you see the next morning. So obviously there was a thing that happened between them. But and it was very tasteful. I love what they did. I love how Elijah did it. Sometimes you don't have to show everything to have the imagination to know what happens. But you see Brad getting off the bed, butt naked, and he's walking. And guess who he's talking to? His wife. So he's definitely on the down low. But I hated this for Killian because the man was vulnerable. It probably was something foreign. Again, I don't think he had ever had any type of relationship. So now he's totally confused. I hated that for him. Moving forward. After that, he's blowing up Brad's phone. Can't get a hold of him. The guy basically screwed him and dumped him and took advantage of him because he was like, you're my number one fan, huh? So he's on a rampage. At some point in the movie, he orders a gun, and he's just going from worse to more worse, and he's grossly eating. Gluttony. It's just disgusting. And he sends another letter, like, if I need you to, like, or he makes a phone call, I think. I don't remember if it was a phone call or letter, but it was a call like, hey, I'm going to kill somebody, and then I'm going to kill myself. So somehow you see him in an apartment where a man comes in, and it's a former judge that had judged him, saying his delts were too small. And of course, he's feeling threatened. This is someone who threatened his psyche that he wasn't good enough to be a professional bodybuilder. And he has this gun. I don't remember what kind of gun it is. I don't know nothing about guns. But anyway, he has this gun. And he makes the guy strip down. And then forces him to do like bodybuilding poses just to humiliate him. Like, you sat there and judged me, I'm gonna judge you. But you see, like, I was really into bodybuilding. Like, I loved looking at that, but I never knew, like, really, I never been to a bodybuilding contest. I was just seeing the still shots. But when I seen that white men judging, and I think there was all black men, maybe a Hispanic man or somebody of color on the stage in his first competition, but it just reminded me of when they brought black people over as slaves, and then they would look at the strongest buck and make him stand up. And that was just my image with that. And so he humiliates this man. He doesn't kill him. And I thank Elijah for that. And he's just so broken by now. Like, he is gone. And the next thing you know, you see him coming home. He gets rid of the gun. But let me point out something that Elijah did that I love. He never once hit any, like, he had some aggression where he did do some property destruction, but he never physically hurt anybody. He didn't hurt that guy. He just punked him. Okay. He didn't hurt that man and shoot him. Now, the scene before the final scene, he goes to like I guess Brad was doing not a competition, but he was having an event where he was on stage, and he goes into the event and he goes to attempt to kill him. And then, so initially you see him shoot him. And he's probably like, I shot him because he hurt me, broke my heart, and he played with my emotions, and he rejected me, and I'm his #1 fan. But it was just in his mind to do it, and he never did it. So you see him walking out, and he ends up breaking down the gun and getting rid of it and never using it. So he writes one final letter to Brad, and he said, he's telling him, I need to tell you something because I've learned something about myself. And he says the only thing that matters in a man's life is how he will be remembered. Because at one point prior to that, he was Googling something about how to be remembered, and it had like 9 different steps. And he said, but no matter what, people are going to know my name. So in other words, he was like, I don't need you no more. He didn't need that therapist. He punked that man. Like, you're the coward. I'm not. You're the one that everybody should be afraid of, not me. Okay? Like, all these people were attributed to his behavior, and the therapist never once really delved into his childhood and his trauma. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might dream about your mom and your dreams when you still, as a little child, you're still thinking about it. That's your last imprint. There's so many beautiful dynamic and pieces, but I love that he never beat that man. He beat him with words and intimidation, and he punked him without even hitting him. He just punked the dang on judge. I mean, the judge could have said what he wanted to say. He was a judge, but the point is, Elijah didn't have him go back and retaliate to the point of where he's being violent. And he put a hidden message that these things attributed to our stuff. And even though we're going through therapy, if you don't have the right therapist to really help you, then what's the freaking point? So anyhow, I'm going to start putting out because I'm about to wrap this up. So he writes that final letter. And then my guy does a final photo shoot of himself with his own camera and puts himself on the cover. Like, he makes a poster of himself and he puts it on his wall. And he doesn't care. I'm putting a little Worcestershire sauce on here since and I'm not really a ketchup person. I don't have any ones. I'm so sad. Anyway, I know I'm going to stop beating that dead horse. So he puts it on at the end, and people's going to know my name. They're going to know my name. So in other words, I don't need you. You took advantage of me like most of them do. You played on my emotions like most of them do. You did a microaggression. You're a liar like most of them are. And he said, but I don't need you. And that at that pivotal point in the movie, that's when I think he realized I am a champion and I don't need anybody to validate me because I validated myself. Because let me come back. After he discarded the gun, he comes in where his pawpaw was, and he just breaks down and cries. And this was such a critical time in the movie to me, because as he was looking for external factors to validate him, to tell him he's okay, his pawpaw has been saying this the whole time. I'm proud of you. You're wonderful. You're amazing. I've been watching you. There's nothing you need more to do, and I love you. And he holds him and he goes, I got you. And sometimes a Black man wants to just hear, I got you. So that was my movie review analyst of Magazine Dreams. Go see the movie. If it's still in theaters in your area, go see it, please. If it's streaming, stream it. I love that movie. Anyway, here is my final result of my broccoli and my turkey burger. And I want to say thank you Jonathan Majors. You inspired me to make this because you were eating lots of broccoli and lots of protein in the movie. So that's my dish today. I can't wait to eat it. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a bite before we close out. But before I take a bite, I just want to say, no, I'm going to take a bite and then I'm going to say what I have to say. Oh my God. That's so delicious. I probably should have said what I had to say and then take a bite. That's so delicious. I didn't even need the A1 sauce. The taco seasoning and the guacamole dip seasoning was perfect. So, if you watched the movie or you've seen the movie and you've seen other things that I missed or you want to make a commentary, please do. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you thought about my commentary, my feedback, my analysis. Tell me if you agree, disagree, if you don't like it, if you thought it was stupid. Whatever. Please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm so grateful. This is so good. I cannot wait to eat. I'm so behind. I usually eat between 2 and 4 or 1 and 3. But life has been life and I was busy and moving around. So I really wanted to finish watching that movie again. But thank you again. Until next time, see you at the top because the bottom's too crowded. Thank you so much. Cooking with gratitude with me, and you have a great evening. Until then, see you next time.